Hello, and welcome to today's podcast. Imagine a world where cars can drive themselves while you work, relax, or even sleep. That world is not far away as you might think. Today, we'll be exploring autonomous vehicles in transportation, their functionality, the technologies behind them, their advantages over human drivers, their limitations, and what the future might hold. So, buckle up, or maybe don't, because the car of tomorrow might just do that for you. How does autonomous vehicles work? Autonomous vehicles are also self driving cars. Are vehicles capable of sensing their environment and moving safely with little or no human input? They rely on a mix of advanced hardware and software. For instance, they use LiDAR sensors to measure the distance by bouncing lasers off beams of objects, radar systems to detect the speed and position of nearby vehicles, and cameras to recognize traffic signs, lane markings, and pedestrians. All of this raw data is processed using artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms which can help the car make real-time decisions such as when to brake, accelerate, or change lanes. These vehicles are also connected through GPS mapping and sometimes V2X technology, which allows them to communicate with other vehicles, traffic lights, and even road infrastructure. In short, autonomous vehicles are like computers on wheels, constantly collecting and analyzing data to navigate the road. Key technologies used in autonomous vehicles. Several core technologies make autonomous vehicles possible. First, artificial intelligence. AI algorithms allow vehicles to recognize objects, predict how they move, and make split-second driving decisions. For example, predicting whether a pedestrian standing near a curb is about to cross the road. Second, big data cloud computing. These cars gather enormous amounts of information which is then uploaded to a cloud where they can be processed and shared across a fleet of vehicles. This helps them to learn from each other's experiences, making the whole system smarter over time. Third, mapping and GPS technologies. High definition maps are crucial. Unlike regular GPS, which may have an error margin of few meters, self driving cars require precision down to a few centimeters. Companies like Waymo and Tesla have invested heavily in building such maps. Together, these technologies allow autonomous vehicles not just to react to the environment but also anticipate what might next happen. 3. Autonomous vehicles versus humans. So, how do autonomous vehicles compare to human drivers? Let's start with the safety. According to transport researchers, around 90% of road accidents are caused by human error. Whether that's distraction, fatigue, speeding, or impaired driving, autonomous vehicles, in theory, could eliminate these issues. They don't get tired, they don't text while driving, they don't drive under influence. Reaction time is another factor. While humans take about a second to react sudden hazards, autonomous systems can react almost instantly. This means the difference between a collision and a safe stop. However, human drivers still have an advantage in one area: intuition. People can sometimes predict unusual behaviors, like when a ball rolls into the road, they can anticipate a child might run after it. Teaching machines that kind of intuition remains a challenge. Fourth, limitation of autonomous vehicles. Despite their promise, autonomous vehicles have been facing major problems. First, technical challenges. Sensors like LiDAR and cameras can struggle in bad weather conditions. Think heavy fog, heavy rain, or snow. Poor road markings or unexpected obstacles can also confuse the system. Second, legal and ethical issues. Who is responsible if a self-driving car causes an accident? The passenger, the manufacturer, or the software developer? These questions are still unresolved in many countries. Third, cost. The sensors and computing power required are still very expensive. This makes autonomous vehicles only accessible to companies or wealthy individuals, at least for now. Finally, infrastructure readiness. Most roads and cities and laws are designed for human drivers, not machines. For autonomous vehicles to function smoothly, significant upgrades may be required, such as smart traffic lights, vehicle to infrastructure communication systems. Fifth, the future of autonomous vehicles and ethical consideration. Looking ahead, what can we expect from autonomous vehicles? Experts predict that within the next decade, we'll see more self-driving taxis, delivery vehicles, and shuttles in most cities. Companies like Waymo, Uber, Tesla are already testing their services in places like Phoenix and San Francisco. There are also big implications for the workforce. Truck drivers, taxi drivers, and delivery workers might face job displacement as automation becomes more widespread. On the other hand, new jobs will be created in AI development, maintenance, and cybersecurity. Ethical dilemmas are another area where we can't ignore. For instance, if a crash is unavoidable, how should the vehicle decide between two harmful outcomes? This is called trolley problem of autonomous driving. And then there's privacy. Since these cars collect vast amounts of data about passengers and surroundings, protecting the data from misuse is critical. Ultimately, while autonomous vehicles promise safer and more efficient transportation, their future depends on how we address these social and legal ethical challenges. To conclude, we look at how autonomous vehicles work, the key technologies behind them, and how they compare with human drivers, their limitations, and their possible future. Autonomous vehicles are more than just cars without drivers. They represent major shift in how we think about mobility, safety, and technology. The road ahead may be long, but one is certain. The journey towards self-driving cars is already well underway. Thank you for joining today's episode. I hope this discussion gave you a clearer understanding of the functionality and limitations of autonomous vehicles in transportation. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the future of technology.